And we're back here on Open. Darren Jaime with you, and so glad that you're here with us. Our next guest is the founder of the Christian Rivera Foundation, actually raising funds to find a cure for a brainstem tumor. And here to tell us more and what you can do to help is founder John Rivera. And thank you, John, for joining us here this morning.
My pleasure.
Thank you. As we talk a little bit about this particular event, it's the Christian Rivera Foundation. Drop my pen, I'll get that in a minute. Christian Rivera Foundation, but the aim of it is to raise funds because your son was affected with the tumor.
Yes, it's a very rare inoperable brainstem tumor. Affects about 200 children in the entire North America each year. Once they're diagnosed, they usually live 3 to 9 months. No survivors. It's like getting a death sentence once you find out your child has pontine glioma, diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma.
And I would assume prior to this you had no knowledge of.
Not many people have a knowledge of it. When I was given the news, I wasn't even given any material on it. I had to go home and research it. Now there's foundations like my own foundation that you can go online and get as much information. We also provide parents with information once their child is diagnosed, because I didn't know anything about it once my child was diagnosed.
Right.
And if you have no knowledge about something, you don't know how to go about trying to treat your child as best as possible.
I would assume quite frustrating going through the process and not really knowing much about it, and then at the same time not really receiving so much information as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's more frustrating knowing that there's no cure, and more frustrating knowing that there's nothing in the pipeline, and that's what we're changing. We're aggressively raising funds to sponsor different research and trials.
And so we know that the way that you're raising funds is through this Walk-A-Thon. It's the 4th annual.
It's one of the many ways we're raising funds. It's the 4th annual Walk-A-Thon put together by Diversity Foundation and Gallows Group. They're the people that put the Puerto Rican Day Parade. So this year, it's their 4th annual Walk-A-Thon, and they chose my son's foundation as the beneficiary this year.
Share a little bit about the foundation, the Christian Rivera Foundation.
We have great committee members, Funk Master Flax, Jim Jones, Muhammad Ali's daughter, Kali Ali, Luis Guzman, who's a famous actor in our community. The list goes on and on and on. A lot of doctors, a lot of great influential people. And we work very hard on trying to raise awareness and funds to someday find a cure for this horrible disease.
Dropped a lot of big names there. It's got to be a good feeling being able to bring those people in, particularly to support a cause, and then more particularly a cause that hits right home.
One big name also that's part of the foundation is Fernando Ferrer, as you know, was your Bronx Borough president for many years and ran for New York City mayor.
So a lot of names out there.
Yes.
So as you continue to work, you said, of course, it's not just this Walk-A-Thon, but talk to us about the other things that go on in terms of raising funds.
We do an annual gala each year, and each year we present the doctor that we sponsor, who's the head oncologist at Memorial Sloan Kettering in Cornell. His name is Dr. Mark Swerdane. He seems to have something very cutting edge that seems to be very promising. And we're crossing our fingers, because if this is something that works, well, I don't have to tell you, you cure this, you cure about 80% of the brain tumors.
And so talk to us about being a parent, because obviously you can share, and I know there's frustration involved. First of all, being diagnosed, and at the same time having to go through the process. Any support mechanisms now, being that you've had this kind of experience, for other parents who go through the same experience?
Well, I myself and my foundation acts as a support mechanism for other parents. I work with other children and their families who are diagnosed. They look me up online, they call me, and we'll do whatever we can, from, you know, just being a support team to helping them with alternative medicines, or just giving them information, or just taking them out to dinner, or sending the mother to a day at the spa, sort of get her mind off of things. This is a horrible situation when you get information, or you get news that your child is not going to live past 3 to 9 months. It's devastating. And so you could imagine what happens.
And no real determination as to how this, where this comes from.
No common denominator. They have no idea. And each tumor is very different, which is tough. And you can't biopsy it, and it's inoperable, so you're basically shooting in the dark.
We're seeing a couple of pictures of your son here. I know. Can you just share a little bit about, your son and the relationship between the both of you?
Oh, my son and I were very close. He had a passion for Thomas the Train, but not just the regular Thomas the Train. He collected each and every train, even the rare ones. He had an amazing collection, and he knew every train by name, and he would go online and research where he can buy the rare trains, and he was 4 years old doing this, and he did that from about maybe 3 to 6, and he passed away when he was 6.
What do you share with other parents who might be going through the process, might be watching right now, knowing that the trauma involved, and not only just the trauma, but the process that sometimes seems like the days are long, the nights are long, and little answers seem to come?
Well, I mean, not just the process of any child that has this disease, which is a rare one. When you're dealing with any child who's autistic or anything, just keep your child happy and keep the faith that tomorrow is another day, and hopefully there's a cure around the corner for whatever disease your parent is, a parent is combating.
A lot of people out here are watching, and they're saying, listen, maybe I want to be a part, maybe I can help. How could I support?
Log on to ChristianRiveraFoundation.org. Christian doesn't have an H, and you can get information. Registration just starts at $10, and there's great registration packages that include gift certificates to restaurants that we're affiliated with, wristbands, T-shirts, the whole 9 yards, and it's a great cause. It's going to be at, it's this Sunday, April 17th, at the Roberto Clemente State Park. The entire walk is 5 miles. You don't have to walk to register.
Don't have to walk.
You don't even have to show up, but if you show up and if you walk, it's also great. We're going to have a lot of great committee members there walking and supporting.
I found the website to be very beautiful. We're sitting right now because you talked about his love for trains, and then you see the Christian Rivera Foundation. Full steam ahead is what the quote says.
That's right.
So you guys are going full steam ahead this weekend.
Absolutely. We go full steam ahead every day,
I hear you.
not just this weekend.
Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. Of course, the website is up there for you to take a look at, our viewers. And if you want to be able to donate to the Christian Rivera Foundation, you've got the information right there. Also, don't forget about them this weekend. And as you said, John, all year round, huh?
That's right. 247.
Thank you so much for coming and sharing with us, and best wishes to you.
Same to you.
All righty, John Rivera, our guest, and talking about the Christian Rivera Foundation. And if you can play a part, just go into that website. You'll see about the Christian Rivera Foundation because they are moving full steam ahead. But if you want to put a little gas in their engine, go right ahead. All right, got to take a quick break. Just more open coming up right after these messages. We'll be right back.